Hi, my name's Ilma and welcome to my channel. I have been posting Christian blogs 14 straight years, almost every day. Today, I'd like to greet everybody and remind everybody that today is Good Friday here in Canada, and I don't know what time it is that it is Good Friday on your country, wherever you're hearing me from. So I would like to ask those who believe in Jesus Christ to reflect on the boundless mercy and measureless love that he showed to us through the death of his son, Jesus Christ, so we do not have to experience the wrath of God that is upon all those who are sinful. Here's what I want to read today is Mark 3 verses 1 to 6. Here is the holy word of God. Again, he entered the synagogue, and a man was there with a withered hand. And they watched Jesus to see whether he would heal him on the Sabbath, so that they might accuse him. And he said to the man with the withered hand, "Come here." And he said to them, "Is it lawful on the Sabbath to do good or to do harm, to save life or to kill?" But they were silent. And he looked around at them with anger, grieved at their hardness of heart, and said to them, "Stretch out your hand." He stretched it out, and his hand was restored. The Pharisees went out and immediately held counsel with the Herodians against him, how to destroy him. Mark 3, 1 to 6. Here's my poem. The righteous anger of the Lord. Witchcraft is an act of willful disobedience and rebelliousness. When one instigates a revolt, it is a manifestation of unruliness. Those who don't submit to the appointed authorities given them, they are actually showing their insolence against the Lord himself. The righteous anger of the Lord is what they will surely receive, for the Lord does not put up with any form of defiance or insurgency. Here's my commentary. Mark addresses what angers the Lord in this account. This event marks the beginning of the hour of God's plan for his son Jesus to fulfill the salvation of mankind. The Pharisees have longed to put Jesus out of the way because the respect and honor they used to receive from people are now threatened by Jesus' miracles and wisdom. They could not believe that someone would be better than them, since they have worked hard to get knowledge and standing for the purpose of being looked up to by society. Despite all the signs and miracles that Jesus manifested, they weren't able to believe that he is the Son of God. So they had to use their laws to put Jesus to the test if he was going to follow it. The irony of it all is that Jesus himself is above the law, and they were putting him to be under the law, since they didn't see that he was the Messiah himself. They had to prove to everyone that they are better than Jesus. They were dying of envy and insecurity. So they had to plot to put him away for good. In 1 Samuel 15:23, it says, "Rebellion is as sinful as witchcraft, and stubbornness as bad as worshiping idols. So because you have rejected the command of the Lord, he has rejected you as king." So this verse is addressed to King Saul, who rebelled against God himself. Why did Jesus respond in anger in this story of Mark? Was it because they didn't see him as the Messiah? Was it because they plotted to kill him? None of these suppositions are correct. Verse 5 says, "It is because he was grieved at the hardness of their hearts." Remember when we were kids and how our parents tell us to obey something so we won't get hurt, but yet we insist on pursuing things that endangers our minds, bodies, and spirits. It is because they were following the law to hinder the healing of one man. They used the law to plot to kill Jesus, which of course the Lord already knew beforehand. Jesus marveled at their unbelief and evil deeds, not because he can change it. Not because he cannot change it, but because the Lord knew that if they continued to harden their hearts, they would not receive the promise of salvation. Reflection. Can humans have righteous anger like the Lord? Why or why not? We are not God, so we are not going to be totally, perfectly righteous, having righteous anger. But there are some verses in the Bible that tells us that we could probably be guided by certain wise advice of the scriptures itself. It says in Ephesians 4:26-27, "Be angry and sin not." This is a directive that implies that anger is not sin, but if we dwell on it and let it eat us up, because it's bitterness that's causing us to be angry, then we're giving a foothold to the devil. Now in in Mark 11:15-17, this anger is motivated by justice, not selfishness. So Jesus demonstrated righteous anger by clearing the temple. Remember that he was so angry because they were making a marketplace of God's temple. So it highlights that God is protecting the sacredness of that house of the Lord. So it's unjust for them to make it and turn it into a marketplace. Now, what are the markers of righteous anger for us humans? If our anger is on injustice, if we're angry because we see somebody being put down or being oppressed or being abused, then our anger is righteous because we're angry at the wrong or the sin being done to another human being. Our anger is righteous if it could reconcile people, or if it seeks to correct, it seeks to protect and restore someone, but not destroy. Now, it's also a marker of a righteous anger if we're able, these are all from the gotquestions.org. If our anger is remain controlled, it does not lead us to uncontrolled rage or fury or actions that violate any of the things that God commands us to do. So, yes, you can have righteous anger if you know the will of the Lord, if you are constantly following Him, if you are in His Word, if you're meditating on it day and night and applying it in your life, then you can have righteous anger. Currently, I'm so angry that a friend of mine has been so captured by the enemy to continue doing sinful acts by deception, by false beliefs. So I'm angry that because of not anybody guiding her, it is very hard for her to let go of all the things that she's so used to, because she's now in her very, very senior years. So I encourage you to continue to lean on God's righteous anger, but we'll only know righteous anger if we know the laws of the Lord and if we follow them. Thank you for watching. I hope you check my website at ILMA'S.com for artworks, photographs, and a copy of this blog. Please subscribe to my channel on YouTube so I could make more videos, give you the Word of God. And if you haven't already, check over 4,000 videos I've done. Over the years, I've been doing this daily. Just type on YouTube or Google search ILMA'S Poem Devotional. Have a blessed Good Friday, and I hope that you will be able to be convicted and be reconciled with those people whom you have had anger with, or with whom you have had resentment and bitterness. Thanks for watching.